What's up, guys? Today I went out and changed a condenser fan motor on it was about a 12-year-old Heil package unit. Went back with the OEM replacement, and this is the one that I replaced. The motor itself was still running, but it was making a ton of noise. Just really obnoxious sounding when it was running. More than likely it's got bearing failures. You could hear it initially, and sometimes you'll see it'll kind of lock up and won't want to turn, and sometimes it'll squeal really loud. So what I'm going to do today, just for fun, is just to pull this motor apart. As you can see, I've already got the bolts out of it. It looks like it's seen better days. Appears to have been leaking oil, probably out of both bearings. But again, I'm just going to pop it open just for fun and see if we can figure out what caused the failure. Alright, we got her all busted apart, and there was two things I noticed right off the bat when I took it apart. The first was the rotor. If you look at the rotor, camera will focus for you. You can see these drag marks on the outside of the rotor. Basically what that's from is this rotor coming in contact with the stator, and it's basically not spinning true inside of there, so it's dragging against the stator. And that's why sometimes when I would try to spin the shaft, it would spin free, and then other times it would feel like it grabbed. You could feel the magnetic pull or the magnetic drag of the motor to where it was almost felt like it was seized up. The second thing I noticed was the wear on the shaft. Not sure how well the camera will pick it up. You can kind of just see it's really glazed and shiny right here, and if you rub your fingernail across it, you can feel almost ridges in it. And same thing on the back, not nearly as bad, but definitely still visible. And I also noticed that usually these are really well lubricated, and there definitely is a little bit of oil in this one, which this is part of the rear bearing. And on the front, definitely see a obvious wear pattern. And one thing you don't see on the front here is oil. Almost no oil whatsoever. Now I call these sleeve bearings. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, so if it's not, somebody please correct me in the comments below. But this is the front bearing, so that's going to be the side closest to where your fan blade is, and it has this material inside. Because these are sealed bearings, so basically this material in here holds the lubricant, holds the oil for the life of the motor. And obviously you can see it's all discolored and black inside. Usually this stuff is a lot brighter, and if you kind of break it apart or press on it, it's usually really oily. It's super saturated, and as you can see, this one is almost completely dry. I mean, it's not even leaving any oil residue on my fingers. So that was the front bearing where it has most of the wear. Look at this back one, and oh yeah, you can definitely tell the difference. Obviously the rear bearing has been stressed, since this one looks like it probably failed first and was generating quite a bit of heat to blacken everything in there. And this is the rear bearing. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to tell, but you can almost see it looks wet right now. And if you squeeze some of it, usually you'll get tons of oil. This one you can just see just a little bit. So this one was definitely drying out as well, more than likely due to the stress from the front bearing failing. This motor is oriented down, so the shaft face down. So more than likely this bearing failed, and it sort of caused a chain reaction, started to loosen or weaken the rear bearing, and the rotor started to get more and more play inside of the stator, eventually starting to rub, starting to squeal and make noise, and that's when the customer called us to come out and take a look. So hopefully that was interesting for people that haven't seen the inside of a fan motor, but hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.